begin working on our cultural face masks. Hopefully you have some sketches done because you want to have a plan for your final design. What does the face shape look like? Is the design symmetrical? Is it inspired by a different country or culture? Is it inspired by a character you're interested in, or maybe even an animal? Once you have your design figured out, you're going to be getting a piece of this thicker paper, and we want to sketch out the shape of the head. Now, I would encourage you to go bigger, so try to use as much of the paper as you can. Typically, when we think about the size of our face, we're thinking about our hand is about the size of our face, but we do want this to be even a little bit bigger than that. So I really would encourage you to go big. Your mask might be symmetrical or it might be asymmetrical. So if I just kind of sketch out a rainbow shape for the top of the head, thinking about like what the cheek shapes are, like if this is maybe going to be more narrow, it might come in, and maybe it's gonna have like a really long jaw shape, okay? So I can cut this out. Now, one tip, if you want a symmetrical design, I would, since the paper is thin enough to fold, I would fold it in half. A seam crease right down the middle of the face will also help give it a little bit of shape when we turn it into our three-dimensional form. And then you can cut out your face. It's okay if you're not exactly on your line. And then you can take a look at it and decide if you like the overall look of it. If you don't, fold it back up, make some more trims to it. Try to get as much out of this one piece of paper as you can. It would be better to do that rather than, oh, I don't like it, and throw it away. We want to take our time and be respectful and responsible with our artwork. Now, another thing you want to consider are eye holes. Are you going to have eye holes that you'll be able to see out of, or are you going to be drawing, painting, or collaging eyes on top of the mask? If you would like to cut eye holes, and it's a mask that you want to see out of, you do want to kind of put the eye holes a little closer to that center line than it would seem, just because the mask is going to be larger than your head. If you put them where they would naturally seem on a person, they're probably going to be a little too far away for you. So put them a little bit closer, sketch out your eye holes. Maybe you want to do kind of smaller ones to start with. Think about the shape. Are they going to be symmetrical? Are they going to be asymmetrical? If you're trying to cut out something from the middle of the paper, there's a few different ways to do it. One way is, without poking yourself, open up your scissors and stick it through, and you can kind of see where it's coming through, like that. Okay, and then you can stick your scissors in, and you can cut them out from the inside like that. Okay, that's one way to cut out your eye shape. Another way is if you want to add another fold, again, this is up to you, but you could gently do another fold and then cut out half of the shape along the fold line. And these eyes are not going to be symmetrical, but I'm okay with that. I might add to my character a little bit. There we go. Okay. You'll do the same with the mouth, deciding if you want to have a line for the mouth or if it's something you're going to be cutting, gluing, or collaging. Now, ultimately, this mask is going to be turned into a three-dimensional form. And so we need to make 2 additional cuts on it. Along that center line, you're going to make a cut along the bottom. The higher up you cut, the shorter the mask will ultimately be. So you might want to check. If I just do a little slit and I kind of take them and overlap them, you can start to see how the chin is going to work. Turn the head around, do one at the top, pull them overlapping, and you can kind of start to see how it's going to pop up. But we don't want to connect it just yet because it's going to be a lot easier for you to paint, for you to draw, for you to collage when your mask is not 3D. So perhaps you want to start thinking about, you know, what the expression is. Are there eyebrows? Maybe this one's going to have kind of some droopy eyelids going on here. Maybe it's going to have like a really big bulbous nose. And it might be making kind of a raw face. Okay, so you can decide the expression. Is it going to be something that's going to be delicate and beautiful? Is it something that's going to be more funny or silly? Or are you really inspired by one of those images from our slideshow that show masks from other countries? You will choose, are you going to be cutting and gluing things on, or are you going to be painting your mask? And then after your mask is dry and finished, then we will overlap those slits and we are going to staple them in place to pop up our mask and get that really cool three-dimensional form like this. So here is a finished one. You can see the whole mask has been painted pink, and then there is a white and black detail on it. The eyes are cut off. There's a little bit of a line to show where the nose is, and then there's a shape to kind of show the mouth, but it's not necessarily a realistic mouth, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a realistic mask. It is an interpretation of a face. All right, so I hope you have some creative ideas. I can't wait to see what your mask looks like.